Rise every morning with the sun, and let it not merely light the sky, but illuminate your soul. Speak to yourself in the voice of love, in the gentle yet unwavering tone of someone who knows the power that resides within your own being. For too long, perhaps, you have allowed the whispers of doubt, the heavy hands of fear, and the insistent voices of those who do not understand you to shape the boundaries of your life. But today you take your power back, and you begin by telling yourself the truth. You tell yourself the truth that you are worthy, that your life is sacred, and that the world awaits the gift of your presence. You are not merely a witness to life's unfolding. You are a participant, a creator, a fire that has been waiting to burn in your own hands. Let these words, these 5 powerful affirmations, become the rhythm of your heartbeat, the quiet song of your morning, the compass by which you navigate each day. First, tell yourself, I am enough. Say it slowly. Let it roll off your tongue and settle deep in your chest where doubt once lived. I am enough. You do not need to prove yourself to the eyes of the world, nor do you need to bend and mold yourself to fit the shadows of other people's expectations. The world has told you that you must be faster, smarter, more beautiful, more clever, more present, more perfect. But all of that is illusion. Your breath, your heart, your scars, your dreams, your quiet moments of sorrow, and your roaring moments of triumph, all of these are enough. Look into the mirror and meet your own eyes with the gentleness of a mother, the courage of a warrior, and the wisdom of a storyteller. Say it again, I am enough. Let the words wash over you, cleansing the residue of yesterday's doubts, and planting a seed of truth that will grow into the mighty oak of your confidence. Do not shrink yourself to fit a space that was never yours. Claim the fullness of who you are. You are enough in all your messiness, all your joy, all your contradictions, and all your glory. Next, speak these words to yourself. I am capable of overcoming. Life will rise like a tide against you, carrying storms that seem insurmountable, winds that threaten to topple the bridges you have built, and fires that seek to consume the paths you are forging. Yet within you lies a river of resilience that cannot be dammed. I am capable of overcoming. You have survived nights darker than any dream, faced days heavier than any burden, and carried hearts and hopes that others could not bear. Each trial, each heartbreak, each moment that made you question the earth beneath your feet has carved a sanctuary of strength inside of you. Repeat it. Let it settle into your bones. And know that there is no mountain too high, no valley too deep, no shadow too long. You are capable of overcoming, for every hardship has already taught you the language of endurance. And when fear whispers that you cannot, when doubt hisses that you will fail, you will stand like the first sunrise over a wounded world, bright and unstoppable, saying to yourself, I am capable of overcoming. Then remind yourself, I am deserving of love. Love is not a currency to be earned. It is not a prize for the patient, nor a reward for the virtuous. Love is your birthright, your inheritance from the stars themselves. There may be voices that tell you otherwise, that remind you of your mistakes, your shortcomings, your moments of weakness. But listen to your own voice, the one that knows your soul, and say with conviction, I am deserving of love. Love yourself first, tenderly and fiercely. Love the body that has carried you, the mind that has wandered, the heart that has been broken and yet continues to beat. Love the spirit that has survived neglect, the laughter that still bubbles in your chest, the tears that fall with cleansing force. For when you recognize your own deserving, you step into a world that mirrors it back to you. You attract what you honor, you hold what you respect, and you give what you value. Never settle for less than the love that honors your being, and never doubt that you are deserving of it in every way, at every moment, for all time. Say also to yourself, I choose courage over comfort. Life will often offer you the easy path, the quiet surrender, the soft pillow of complacency. But greatness, joy, freedom, and authenticity are not born in the cradle of comfort. They are forged in the fire of courage, in the surrender to possibility, in the daring leap into the unknown. I choose courage over comfort. Each morning, remind yourself that fear is but a shadow, and that the light of your spirit can pierce it. Speak it as you rise from your bed, as you dress your body, as you meet the world outside your window. Let your steps echo this truth. When you are tempted to retreat, when your instincts beg you to shrink, say, I choose courage over comfort. Know that every act of bravery, whether large or small, feeds the soul, strengthens the mind, and opens the heart to experiences that comfort could never give. You are more than your fears, braver than your doubts, and stronger than any obstacle that dares to block your way. And finally, whisper to yourself, I am the author of my story. No one else can write the chapters of your life. No one else can determine the color of your sky, the rhythm of your footsteps, the cadence of your heartbeat. I am the author of my story. You may stumble upon people who try to take the pen from your hand, who tell you what your life should look like, who demand that you follow the script they have written. Yet the pen rests in your grasp, and only your ink can fill the pages. Tell yourself this morning with unwavering conviction that the choices you make, the love you give, the battles you fight, and the joy you claim are yours to define. Your story is sacred, fluid, and infinite. You are the artist, the poet, the dreamer, and the doer of your own narrative. Let the world read what you write, but never let it dictate your sentences. Every day, remind yourself that your life is your canvas, and every thought, every action, every intention is a stroke of color on the masterpiece that is uniquely yours. In this morning ritual, these 5 truths become your armor and your wings. They are the lifeblood that will carry you through days of monotony, nights of uncertainty, and moments of despair. Speak them with love. Speak them with authority. Speak them with the rhythm of a heart that knows its own capacity for joy and triumph. You will find that the more you speak these truths, the more the world begins to echo them back to you. Doubt will fall away, negativity will lose its grip, and life will bend in ways that honor the courage, love, and wisdom you claim each morning. Tell yourself, I am enough, and you will stop seeking validation from those who cannot see your worth. Speak, I am capable of overcoming, and you will meet obstacles with a calm, unshakable strength. Whisper, I am deserving of love, and doors will open to hearts, experiences, and places that honor your presence. Declare, I choose courage over comfort, and the fear that once kept you small will shrink before your audacity. And finally, affirm, I am the author of my story, and the pen will never leave your hand again, no matter what storms arise, no matter what voices try to steer you away from your path. Every morning, let these words be more than phrases. Let them be a ceremony, a dance, a prayer, a declaration of who you are and who you are becoming. Let them echo in the quiet chambers of your mind, in the bustling corridors of your day, and in the intimate whispers of your heart. For life is neither waiting nor pausing for those who doubt. It is rising, flowing, and calling for the presence of those who are awake, aware, and courageous. Know that the world will continue to move with its cacophony of expectations, criticisms, and comparisons. People will try to measure you by their own standards, to clip the wings of your ambition, to silence the song of your spirit. But if you rise each morning and tell yourself these 5 truths, you will find a sanctuary within yourself that no one can invade. You will meet each challenge with a reservoir of strength you did not know existed. You will face joy with gratitude, sorrow with grace, and love with openness. And in doing so, you will not only transform your own life, but also radiate a light that uplifts others, inspiring them to speak the same truths to themselves. Do not be afraid of repetition, for repetition builds the foundation of belief. Speak these words over and over, until they become not just affirmations, but realities. Until you no longer ask whether you are enough, because you know it. Until you no longer question your ability to overcome, because every victory, big or small, reminds you. Until you no longer doubt you're deserving of love, because the love you give and receive testifies to it. Until you no longer seek comfort over courage, because you have walked the path of bravery. Until you no longer feel the pen slip from your hand, because your story unfolds exactly as it should, written by your own intention, colored with your own wisdom, and graced by your own soul. When you speak these truths each morning, you awaken more than just yourself. You awaken the energy that lies dormant in your work, your relationships, your passions, your dreams. You awaken the awareness that each day is a gift, each moment an opportunity, each breath a miracle. You begin to see the beauty in struggle, the clarity in challenge, and the blessings in every encounter. And as you move through your day, carrying these truths like lanterns, you create ripples that extend far beyond your own life, touching those who may not yet know their own worth, courage, love, or voice. Remember always that these words are not empty, they are living, breathing forces. They are the call of your higher self, the song of your spirit, and the echo of the universe speaking to you. They are meant to shape your day, your choices, your interactions, and your understanding of your own heart. Speak them with intention, with reverence, and with the knowledge that each repetition is an act of self-liberation. Each morning, these truths remind you that no matter the storms you face, no matter the darkness you encounter, the light of your soul is unextinguishable. So rise and speak to yourself with courage. Rise and honor the truth that you are enough. Rise and remember that you are capable of overcoming. Rise and embrace the love that has always been your right. Rise and choose courage over comfort. Rise and take your pen, for you are the author of your story, the architect of your life, the keeper of your own flame. Let these 5 truths guide you, protect you, and inspire you. And as you go forth into the world, carry them as your banner, your shield, and your song. For life is a canvas, and each day is a brushstroke. Life is a song, and each morning is a note. Life is a journey, and each choice you make is a step. Speak these truths, and you step with strength, with love, with courage, and with clarity. The world may try to silence you, diminish you, or sway you from your path. But these words, these powerful truths, will remind you of your power, your purpose, and your boundless potential. Every morning, when the sun rises, let it find you ready. Ready to speak your affirmations, ready to honor your journey, ready to claim the life that has always been waiting for you. Let your voice rise, let your heart open, and let your spirit soar. You are enough. You are capable of overcoming. You are deserving of love. You choose courage over comfort. You are the author of your story. These are not mere words. They are your lifeline, your compass, your song, and your legacy. Your imperfections are not blemishes to be hidden, but sacred marks that tell the story of your life. They are the fingerprints of your humanity, the evidence of the journey you have walked, the battles you have fought, and the lessons you have learned. Every scar, every mistake, every moment you have faltered carries within it the memory of a struggle, a triumph, a truth that makes you uniquely who you are. There is a profound beauty in your flaws, for they reveal your courage, your resilience, and your capacity to endure. To embrace them is to honor the totality of your existence, to accept the fullness of your life, and to acknowledge that to be human is to be imperfect. Many people spend their lives chasing perfection, molding themselves to meet the expectations of others, masking their flaws and hiding their mistakes. They try to appear flawless, polished, and unshakable, believing that the world will only accept them if they are perfect. Yet the truth is it is precisely our imperfections that connect us, that make us relatable, and that make our lives meaningful. When you look closely at the people you admire, you will see their flaws interwoven with their brilliance. It is the blend of strength and weakness, certainty and doubt, joy and sorrow, that makes a life authentic and inspiring. To deny your imperfections is to deny your own humanity, to turn away from the very experiences that have shaped you, and to refuse the richness that comes from embracing your full self. Imperfections are teachers, guiding you to a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. Each flaw or limitation asks you to look within, to examine your fears, your patterns, and your responses. They encourage self-reflection and nurture growth. When you embrace them, you recognize that mistakes are not failures but lessons, that weaknesses are not shortcomings but invitations to develop strength, and that vulnerability is not a weakness but a gateway to connection and love. The courage to face your imperfections, to accept them fully, is the same courage that enables you to live boldly, to love deeply, and to create meaning in your life. To embrace your imperfections is to embrace your story. Every flaw, every quirk, every moment of struggle contributes to the narrative of who you are. Without them, your story would lack texture, depth, and authenticity. It is the uneven brushstrokes, the rough edges, the moments of doubt, and the traces of pain that give your life dimension and color. These imperfections distinguish you from everyone else, leaving an indelible mark that no one can replicate. They are your unique signature on the canvas of life, proof that you have lived, that you have dared, and that you have endured. There is a quiet strength in embracing your imperfections. It allows you to stop hiding, to stop apologizing for being who you are, and to stop comparing yourself to the impossible standards set by others. You begin to see your flaws not as burdens, but as the evidence of your humanity, as the proof that you are alive, and as reminders of the lessons learned along the way. When you accept yourself fully, including the parts that feel weak or broken, you free yourself from the chains of shame and self-criticism. You begin to carry yourself with dignity, grace, and an unshakable confidence that comes from knowing your own worth, independent of external approval. Your imperfections also shape your relationships and your ability to connect with others. When you embrace your own flaws, you develop empathy and compassion for the struggles of those around you. You understand that everyone carries their own imperfections, their own wounds, their own moments of doubt and fear. You learn to see people for who they truly are, not for the masks they wear or the facades they present. This acceptance fosters deeper, more authentic relationships, where vulnerability is met with understanding and honesty is met with love. Your flaws become bridges rather than barriers, connecting you to others in ways that perfection never could. Life itself is imperfect, unpredictable, and often chaotic, and our imperfections reflect our engagement with this reality. We cannot control every circumstance, avoid every mistake, or erase every flaw. Yet it is in the imperfection of life and in the acknowledgement of our own that we find meaning, growth, and resilience. To embrace your imperfections is to embrace life as it truly is, in all its beauty, pain, uncertainty, and wonder. It is to step into the world fully, without pretense, and to engage with it from a place of honesty, courage, and authenticity. Your imperfections are also a source of creativity and innovation. The gaps, the mistakes, and the unconventional aspects of your being often lead to the most original ideas, the most profound insights, and the most meaningful contributions. Perfection can be rigid, limiting, and predictable, but imperfection invites exploration, experimentation, and discovery. By embracing your flaws, you open yourself to possibilities that would remain hidden if you were only striving to conform to a standard of flawlessness. Each imperfection carries potential, waiting for your attention, your effort, and your imagination to transform it into something powerful, expressive, and transformative. When you embrace your imperfections, you also model authenticity for others. Your willingness to be seen, to be real, and to accept yourself inspires those around you to do the same. It creates a culture of honesty, courage, and compassion. People are drawn to those who are real, not perfect, because authenticity resonates deeply with the human experience. Your imperfections, when embraced, become gifts that enrich not only your life, but the lives of everyone you encounter. They remind others that it is possible to live fully, love deeply, and stand proudly in the truth of who they are, without fear or apology. To embrace your imperfections is to embrace freedom. Freedom from the pressure to perform, to measure up, or to be something you are not. Freedom to make mistakes, to stumble, to learn, and to grow. Freedom to love yourself without conditions, to honor your own journey, and to claim your life as your own. The path to freedom begins with self-acceptance, and self-acceptance begins with the recognition that your imperfections are not flaws to be corrected, but integral parts of your humanity to be honored. They are proof that you have lived, that you have felt, that you have experienced, and that you are capable of moving forward with grace, strength, and courage. Every imperfection is a testament to your resilience, a reminder that you have survived, endured, and continued to grow. They are the fingerprints of a life lived fully, a life unafraid to confront challenges, to experience pain, and to embrace joy. To reject your imperfections is to reject a part of yourself, to deny the very experiences that have shaped your character and your soul. But to embrace them is to step into a more complete, authentic, and empowered version of yourself. It is to claim your right to exist as you are, to love as you are, and to create as you are. Your imperfections tell the story of your courage, your growth, and your humanity. They are not limitations but invitations, not weaknesses but strengths, not burdens but badges of honor. They remind you that you are alive, that you are human, and that your life is a masterpiece in progress. By embracing them, you step fully into your truth, your power, and your purpose. You allow yourself to be seen, to be heard, and to be celebrated for exactly who you are, in all your imperfect, beautiful, and undeniable humanity. Resilience is not something that appears when life is easy, when the sky is clear, or when the road is straight. It is born in the storms, in the turbulence, in the moments when your heart is heavy and your spirit trembles. Resilience is the measure of your courage, the depth of your endurance, the way your soul rises each time life attempts to bend you. It grows when you meet your challenges, when you do not shrink, when you do not turn away. Every trial, every obstacle, every heartbreak is an invitation to discover the strength that already lies within you, waiting quietly, patiently for you to recognize it. It is in facing difficulty, not avoiding it, that resilience is forged, like steel shaped in the fire of adversity, tempered with the waters of persistence and courage. When life tests you, when it pushes against your limits, it is easy to run, to hide, to pretend that the challenge does not exist. But running never resolves the storm, it never calms the waves, and it never reveals the depth of your own power. To flee is to leave your courage behind, to leave your growth untouched, to deny yourself the opportunity to become stronger than you were the day before. Resilience is cultivated in the act of standing still, in the act of facing what frightens you, in the act of saying with a steady heart that you will not be defeated. It is the quiet insistence that life's hardships will not break you, that you are capable of weathering the storm, that your spirit is too vast to be contained by fear or pain. Every challenge you face is a teacher, a sculptor, a mirror. It reveals your weaknesses, not to shame you, but to show you the places where strength must grow. It tests your patience, your perseverance, and your resolve. It asks you to dig deeper than you thought possible, to reach beyond the comfort of familiarity, to confront the uncertainty that whispers doubts in your ear. When you face these challenges, when you look them in the eye and take one step forward, resilience grows within you. It is not instant, it is not flashy, it is subtle and steady, like a river carving its path through rock, persistent, unstoppable, and enduring. Life's trials come in many forms: loss, failure, rejection, illness, betrayal, disappointment, fear. Each one carries its own weight, its own lesson, its own demand for courage. When you confront them, you honor your own capacity to endure, to adapt, and to rise. Every time you choose to face difficulty instead of running from it, you teach yourself that pain is not permanent, that struggle is not weakness, that you are capable of surviving and thriving. This knowledge becomes a foundation, a bedrock of confidence, an inner reservoir of strength that you can draw from again and again, no matter what life throws at you. Resilience grows not only from enduring hardships, but from embracing them as opportunities. Every challenge has within it a seed, a gift, a lesson, if you are willing to see it. The wound contains wisdom, the obstacle contains insight, and the struggle contains revelation. When you face difficulty with openness, with courage, with honesty, you transform adversity into empowerment. You transform pain into perspective, fear into strength, doubt into determination. Resilience is the ability to carry your experiences without letting them define or diminish you, to emerge from trials not hardened, but tempered, not bitter, but wiser, not broken, but beautifully remade. There is a rhythm to facing challenges, a cadence that teaches patience and discipline. Life does not always hand you victories immediately. Sometimes it requires endurance, repeated effort, and quiet persistence. Resilience grows in this repetition, in the commitment to show up again and again, even when the weight feels unbearable, even when the outcome is uncertain, even when hope seems distant. It is the act of rising after each fall, of continuing when every part of you wants to surrender, of believing in the power of your own spirit to overcome. Each step, each effort, each moment of courage nourishes resilience, until it becomes as natural as breathing, as unwavering as the tides, as inevitable as the dawn. When you flee from challenges, you deprive yourself of the opportunity to grow. Avoidance may feel like safety, but it is a trap that keeps your spirit small, your potential unrealized, and your strength untapped. True resilience is not about avoiding pain. It is about moving through it, holding it in your heart, learning from it, and allowing it to shape you into a fuller, stronger, more capable human being. To face your challenges is to embrace your power, to claim your dignity, and to honor the depth of your own courage. Every obstacle becomes a teacher, every difficulty a mentor, and every trial a doorway into a larger, more resilient self. Resilience is not only about enduring the external storms of life, but also about facing the inner ones. Doubts, fears, regrets, and insecurities can feel as formidable as any external challenge. When you confront them, acknowledge them, and move forward despite them, resilience deepens. It grows each time you choose truth over avoidance, courage over comfort, action over stagnation. The mind, the heart, and the spirit all gain strength when you meet your internal struggles head-on, refusing to let fear dictate the course of your life, refusing to let anxiety or self-doubt define your worth, refusing to let past pain imprison your present or future. Your resilience inspires not only yourself but also those around you. When others see you standing firm in the face of difficulty, when they witness your courage, your persistence, and your capacity to endure, they are reminded of their own potential to rise. Resilience is contagious. It spreads quietly, like sunlight through the trees, warming hearts and illuminating possibilities. By facing your challenges instead of fleeing, you become a beacon for others, a living example that the human spirit is capable of remarkable strength, beauty, and perseverance. Every challenge faced, every fear confronted, Every risk taken adds another layer to your resilience. It becomes a muscle, honed through effort, tested through adversity, and strengthened through repeated use. You begin to understand that you are not defined by the storms you encounter, but by the way you navigate them, by the courage with which you meet them, and by the grace with which you continue to move forward. Resilience is not about never breaking. It is about learning how to bend without shattering, to fall without losing yourself, to rise each time with a greater understanding of your own power. Life will always present obstacles, and you will always face challenges. The path is rarely smooth, the skies rarely clear, and the winds rarely calm. But each time you confront these realities, each time you step forward instead of retreating, you build a resilience that cannot be taken away, cannot be diminished, and cannot be ignored. It becomes part of your identity, an inner strength that shapes every decision, every action, and every response. It is the quiet confidence that comes from knowing that no matter what happens, you have the capacity to endure, to adapt, to rise, and to continue, and that this strength will carry you through whatever comes next. Happiness is not a gift given by the world, nor is it a prize to be earned through the approval of others. It is an inner river, a current of the soul that begins to flow the moment you stop depending on the judgment, validation, or acceptance of anyone outside yourself. For too long, perhaps, you have measured your worth by the reflections in other people's eyes, by the praise they offer, by the nods of approval, or the absence of criticism. Yet true happiness does not come from being admired, celebrated, or even accepted. It comes from embracing your own truth, honoring your own spirit, and recognizing that your value is inherent, unshakable, and undeniable. When you stop seeking approval from others, you free yourself from a cage of invisible chains, a prison built from other people's expectations, and step into a world that belongs entirely to you, a life that is authentically yours. Many spend years, even decades, bending and shaping themselves to fit the desires and demands of those around them. They dim their light, silence their voice, and hide their brilliance, believing that acceptance from others will bring joy. But in doing so, they trade the radiance of their own soul for shadows of conformity. Happiness is not found in living someone else's script. It is found in writing your own story, in walking your own path, in honoring your own heart. Each time you seek approval, you place the source of your happiness outside yourself, giving away the power that rightly belongs to you. True freedom, true joy, and true contentment begin the moment you reclaim that power and turn it inward, recognizing that you are already enough, already worthy, already whole. When you stop seeking approval, you begin to understand that the opinions of others are merely reflections of their own experiences, fears, and insecurities. They are not measures of your worth, not definitions of your potential, and not arbiters of your destiny. People will always have judgments, criticisms, and expectations, because that is the nature of the world. But you are not bound by them unless you choose to be. You are free to define yourself, to honor your own desires, to pursue your own dreams, and to live by your own standards. Each moment you resist the pull of external validation, your soul grows stronger, your heart grows lighter, and your life grows richer with the authenticity that comes from living for yourself. Happiness begins when you recognize the difference between respect and approval. Respect is a reflection of how you carry yourself, how you act in integrity, how you honor the lives of others while staying true to your own. Approval, on the other hand, is conditional, fleeting, and unreliable. To chase approval is to chase a shadow, to seek a wind that can never be held. But to live with respect for yourself is to create a foundation of inner joy that cannot be shaken by the whims of others. Each time you choose your own values over the judgments of others, each time you honor your own voice, your sense of self-worth expands, and the seeds of lasting happiness take root. The pursuit of approval often leads to a life of compromise. You silence your dreams to avoid criticism. You alter your choices to avoid rejection. You shrink your ambitions to fit comfortably within the expectations of others. But the soul cannot thrive in compromise, it withers in conformity. Happiness requires courage. The courage to say yes to yourself, to follow your own path, to embrace your own truths, and to allow your light to shine without hesitation or apology. When you stop seeking approval, you begin to live with boldness, authenticity, and freedom. You begin to move through the world with a quiet confidence that is unshakable, because it is born from within, not borrowed from the opinions of others. Happiness is also found in the simplicity of self-acceptance. It is not the accolades, the compliments, or the recognition of others that cultivate joy, but the quiet acknowledgement that you are whole just as you are. You are allowed to be imperfect, to make mistakes, to stumble, to feel deeply, and to grow. When you embrace yourself fully, without waiting for anyone else's permission, you experience a liberation unlike any other. You are no longer bound by the fear of judgment, no longer haunted by the need to perform, and no longer tethered to the shifting opinions of those around you. The happiness that emerges from this self-acceptance is resilient, unwavering, and deeply satisfying because it is rooted in truth rather than approval. There is a profound power in living for yourself, in following your own heart, and in choosing your own path. When you stop seeking approval, your decisions become your own, your actions are aligned with your values, and your life becomes a reflection of your authentic self. You begin to attract people, opportunities, and experiences that resonate with your soul rather than those that merely reinforce someone else's idea of who you should be. This alignment brings a peace and contentment that no external validation can provide. It is a happiness that is steady, enduring, and entirely your own, nurtured by the freedom to live unapologetically and to honor your own truth. Happiness grows when you embrace the courage to be disliked, the bravery to be misunderstood, and the strength to stand alone when necessary. Seeking approval is a subtle surrender. It is giving away your power and allowing others to dictate the terms of your joy. To stop seeking approval is to reclaim your sovereignty, to honor the wisdom of your own heart, and to trust your own instincts. Each time you choose authenticity over acceptance, you cultivate resilience, fortitude, and an enduring inner joy that no external circumstance can diminish. Moreover, when you stop seeking approval, you begin to understand the impermanence of other people's opinions. Praise is fleeting, applause is temporary, and admiration fades with time. Yet the approval you give yourself is eternal, consistent, and life-giving. When your sense of worth is grounded in your own recognition, happiness is not subject to the tides of popular opinion, the whims of social expectation, or the judgments of those who cannot see your soul. You become the arbiter of your own joy, the keeper of your own peace, and the author of your own fulfillment. The act of living without the need for approval is a radical declaration of freedom, a quiet revolution of the spirit, and a profound act of self-love. It is saying to yourself, I am enough, I am worthy, I am complete, regardless of what anyone else thinks. It is choosing to honor your own voice, to trust your own path, and to embrace your own desires without apology. It is a daily commitment to stand in your truth, to act with integrity, and to cultivate joy from within rather than seeking it in the fleeting reflections of others. Happiness begins the moment you step out of the shadows of judgment and into the light of self-acceptance. It grows each time you act according to your values, speak according to your truth, and honor the wisdom of your own heart. It is nurtured by the courage to live authentically, the resilience to withstand criticism, and the clarity to recognize that your worth is inherent, unchanging, and not dependent on anyone else's approval. Every day you choose yourself. Every moment you honor your own voice. Every decision made from authenticity rather than conformity strengthens the roots of a joy that cannot be taken, shaken, or diminished. The power to change your life has never been in the hands of fate, nor in the whispers of chance, nor in the judgments of others. It has always lived within you, quietly waiting, patiently, for you to recognize it and claim it. Every decision you make, every choice you take, every moment when you step forward instead of standing still, carries the potential to shift the trajectory of your life. This power is not loud or demanding. It does not require permission from anyone, nor does it announce itself with fanfare. It is subtle, profound, and constant, residing in the depths of your own will, ready to awaken the moment you acknowledge it and take responsibility for the path you choose to walk. Many people spend their lives believing that circumstances, luck, or other people hold the keys to their destiny. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect approval before taking action, not realizing that the only true power lies in the act of deciding. Every choice, no matter how small, carries with it the potential to transform your life, to open doors you never imagined, and to reveal aspects of yourself you have never known. The act of deciding, when taken with awareness, courage, and intention, is the seed from which change grows, and the roots of your future are nurtured in the soil of your own determination. To recognize the power within your own decisions is to reclaim your agency. It is to understand that you are not merely a passenger in your life, subject to the winds of circumstance, but the captain of your own vessel, navigating through storms and calm waters alike. Each decision becomes a compass, guiding you toward your goals, your dreams, and your highest potential. When you make choices deliberately, with clarity and intention, you align yourself with the life you wish to create, rather than reacting to the life that happens to you. This recognition is liberating, for it places responsibility, control, and possibility squarely within your grasp, where it has always belonged. Every decision, no matter how minor it may seem, has the power to shape your reality. Choosing kindness instead of anger, patience instead of frustration, courage instead of fear, awareness instead of ignorance. These are the decisions that accumulate over time, building the architecture of a life that reflects your deepest values and aspirations. You may not see the results immediately, but each choice sets in motion a ripple, a current, a momentum that carries you toward transformation. When you honor the power of your decisions, you begin to recognize that you are never powerless, that even the smallest choice has significance, and that the life you long for is created moment by moment, decision by decision. The power within your own decisions also resides in your ability to say no, to refuse what does not serve your highest good, to step away from situations, people, or patterns that drain your energy, and to reclaim your time, your focus, and your spirit. Saying no is not rejection, it is affirmation of yourself, an acknowledgement that your life is precious, and that the direction you choose to take must honor your goals, values, and well-being. Each time you exercise this power, each time you make a decision that reflects your inner truth, you reinforce the fact that change is possible, and that your life belongs to you and you alone. Resisting the temptation to allow others to dictate your choices is essential. The voices of family, friends, society, and culture can be persuasive, often cloaked in concern, advice, or expectation. Yet the life that is truly yours cannot be lived through the lens of someone else's approval or belief. True empowerment comes from listening to your own inner wisdom, weighing your own priorities, and making decisions that honor your unique journey. When you rely on your own discernment, you cultivate confidence, clarity, and a sense of purpose that is unshakable. You realize that the life you desire is not a distant dream, but a reality that can be sculpted, shaped, and realized through the consistent exercise of your own will. Every decision you make shapes not only your external world, but also your internal landscape. Choosing to forgive instead of holding resentment, to embrace growth instead of clinging to the past, to cultivate gratitude instead of envy. These are choices that transform your inner life and, by extension, your experience of the outer world. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions are all interconnected, and the decisions you make daily determine the quality of your life in ways both visible and invisible. When you take responsibility for your choices, you understand that happiness, peace, and fulfillment are not granted by circumstances, but cultivated through intentional living. The power of choice also thrives in the courage to take risks, to step beyond comfort, to face uncertainty, and to embrace the possibility of failure is to recognize that every decision carries with it the seeds of transformation. Those who achieve greatness do not wait for life to hand them opportunity on a silver platter. They create opportunity through decisive action, bold choices, and unwavering commitment. Even when the outcome is unknown, the act of deciding to move forward, to act in alignment with your vision, strengthens your ability to shape your own destiny. Your decisions are also a reflection of your values. The life you create is a mirror of the choices you consistently make, the priorities you honor, and the intentions you hold. By aligning your decisions with your deepest principles, you craft a life that is coherent, meaningful, and authentic. Each choice is a declaration of who you are, what you stand for, and what kind of life you intend to live. The cumulative effect of these choices over time is profound, as small, intentional acts coalesce into a life of purpose, direction, and integrity. It is important to remember that the power to change your life is not dependent on perfection. Mistakes will happen, missteps will occur, and wrong turns will be taken. Yet even in these moments, the act of deciding remains potent. Each choice to correct, to learn, and to continue forward reinforces your agency, your resilience, and your ability to shape your own path. Change is not instantaneous. It is a process, a series of decisions, a commitment to keep choosing wisely, boldly, and with intention even in the face of setbacks. The true power of your decisions is realized when you embrace accountability. Owning the outcomes of your choices, whether joyous or painful, empowers you to make even more deliberate, informed, and confident decisions in the future. Accountability does not restrict you. It frees you by placing the reins of your life firmly in your hands. You become the architect of your reality, the author of your story, the force that determines the shape of your future. Every decision exercised with awareness and courage builds upon the last, creating a momentum that carries you toward the life you envision, a life crafted from intention, purpose, and the unyielding belief in your own power. Change begins in the moment of choice. Every decision you make is a declaration of who you are and who you intend to become. The power to create, transform, and shape your existence is yours, waiting patiently for recognition. By embracing this power, by making conscious choices, by stepping into the responsibility and privilege of deciding, you unlock doors that once seemed closed, you illuminate paths that were hidden, and you awaken the infinite potential that lives within you. Each decision taken with courage and intention becomes a stepping stone toward the life you are capable of creating, a life defined not by chance, circumstance, or the influence of others, but by the unwavering force of your own deliberate will.